Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Simply Together show. It was a bit oh God, I've lost my words. I'm joking. It was a bit chilly last
Oh Lord.
night. It was a bit chilly last night. Do
It
you
is,
think?
Yeah,
Was you chilly?
I
it
was
was,
okay.
and it's still
Oh,
quite
you're
chilly.
okay. Yeah. Yeah, but if you're okay, that's okay. But it's the darker nights are drawing in already.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, but other than that, it's still sunny out there. So how you doing, Shelley?
I'm good. I'm good. Coming out the other side of feeling ugh, but yes.
Okay,
Good. I think.
is this
So far.
one of your regular?
Yeah, this is one of my regular cyclical PMDD funks.
Crap things?
Yes.
Yeah.
Brain won't switch on. And then I get all headachy and migrainey and temper tantrums like a 2-year-old kind of.
Oh,
It's been fun, but yeah, we're on a good week, I think now.
do we need to put you in the naughty corner or
No,
on the
I was
naughty
good.
step?
I didn't slam doors. I didn't throw anything. No, I was good. I'm
Okay,
good.
okay,
Maybe not the
okay.
hot corner, just the step. Just the
The
step.
step, just the naughty step.
Yeah.
Just put her on the naughty step. Okay. Well, that's down to her husband, and I don't think he's going to do that. To be fair.
I would say good luck to him trying that one.
Yeah, exactly.
Try.
Exactly.
Try.
I would like to be a fly on the wall when he tries to do that. Okay, so how are you doing, Nikkei?
Do you know what? I'm very well, thank you. I'm looking forward to the extra day of work. Even though, yeah, that was at the beginning of the month. And it's now beginning to kind of wear off, thinking, oh my God, I need a break from work. It's really hectic, like really hectic. So,
Have
but
you
that's
not just
okay.
come back from holiday?
That was at the beginning of the month, sister. We're at the end of the month nearly now. You do
Yeah, but
realise.
that holiday has to last you 6 months.
Tell me about it. I know. That's why yesterday I was looking at videos. I'm like, oh my God. But no. Work is just really, really, it's unhinged, to say the least.
Because is that just because it's the time of the year?
No, I just think it's so I work in the complaints department, and people are just fed up with everything.
Right.
Everything's going up, and people are complaining more. People have got AI to help them complain more. So the complaints that are coming in, you're having to unpick them because they're not all correct because they haven't asked the right questions.
Right.
And yeah, so a lot of pushback as well. And we've just been centralized again. After it's a year, it's an exact year to when we were regionalized, and now we've gone back to only complaints. All the other regionalization has stayed put, but complaints have been brought back centrally again. It's exactly a year, so it's just kind of getting used to that and all of that malarkey. You just think, oh my God, why did I play the lottery all these years?
Because there are people out here who have been playing it all those years, and we're still having to go to work.
I know. I was having that conversation with my older brother the other day. He did actually make me laugh. I had to say, you do know that they're on some against you, right? I had to remind him. Anyhow,
we got an email to say
the other day.
You say about lottery. We got an email the other day. You won a prize.
Yeah.
The prize went up to like the thing went up to like £2 ago. We got 2 individual prizes of £1. So if we'd have won the once, it would have given us half prices. It didn't even then say, oh, another free draw. No, it's 2 different lots of £1. But they send you an email. You get all excited and log on.
Yeah. I have won the one on the Friday with the biggest things. Yep. I've won that about 3 or 4 times. And when you open it up, £3.56 or £4 something.
That's why when I do play the lottery, I tend to buy it in the shop because those emails are annoying.
Yeah.
And at least, yeah. At least you get to have a chat with somebody when you go and collect your £3.50 winnings.
Yeah.
No, because it's if you do it from the shop, yes, yeah.
So apart from that, how are you, Cecile? How's it all going?
I'm good.
Do you have news?
Work is so I have a part-time job and then I have my private stuff. And the part-time job is just ramped up because we're opening up a whole new platform and everything that goes with it. And every time you log in, there's something else you've got to do. And oh my God. And then for some silly reason, I had 2 weeks holiday. So I'm playing catch up. And
let's rewind there. What do you mean for some silly reason? Hello? Excuse me? How many times have we talked about self-care and self-love and self-preservation on this channel?
Yeah, but this now feels like, because there's so much work to do, and now feels like I should have just worked then and took the days off another time. But hey ho, it is what it is. Are you
naturally busy as well with all the your clients that you're getting coming in?
Not as many young people.
Right. Okay.
But that's because the new app goes live on next Wednesday. But they've already started it on a smaller basis. So some of the young people have already gone to the new one.
Oh, right.
So we haven't got as many, but how many emails do you need to send with the same thing? Do you know what? I've read it. I'll do it. I've read it. I'll do it. It's fine. I'll do it. And then you get more emails and more, and it just, yeah. And I'm not swearing today. So, because there's nothing going on that I need to be swearing for, unlike last week. And I only swore once. So that was really good. Really good. So today we've got a couple of things. Shelley's going to be talking about, yes, part of a woman's life, cervical smear tests. Right?
Yes.
We're going to talk about that and maybe a new way of doing things. We're going to have a conversation about Meghan and Harry, which is really interesting.
You had to think about what word to say then, didn't you?
We've got opposing thoughts on the panel, so we like that. That is good. That is good. And then if there's any time, we might even talk about something else, but who knows? But Shelley is going to start us off around, what is that thing called? The H what?
So the HPV virus, you might have remembered that from a few years ago where we were doing the vaccines for the kids. The reason why it was doing the vaccines for the HPV virus is it's the majority of reasons why you end up with cervical cancer. Now, I think it was 9. I've got so many different bits that I've put in the comments here, and I'm going to be doing a post on our pages as well.
Okay.
Kind of like all together. But to give a quick explanation, that the HPV virus you can come across 9 times out of 10, it will just come out of your system. It doesn't linger or anything like that. It's transmitted through skin to skin sexual contact. And that causes about the majority. I think it's something like 8 or 9 in every 10 people will get cervical cancer because of the HPV virus. Now,
I've got a question already, and so, and we are Simply Together show. We're not doctors or nurses or anything like that. However, the skin to skin sexual contact.
Yes.
Is that as loose as it sounds, or is it very specific?
No, it's as typical with anything like this. They've got it. The boys won't realise that they've got this virus.
Okay.
Yeah. they won't have any issues. You might not have any issues if you actually come across this virus, but your body might react and give you changes in the skin cells. So when you go for a smear test, it's not checking for cancer, it's checking for the changes of the cervix cells.
Yeah.
Which is why you could then say, you need to come back and we'll do a bit more in-depth look
Yeah.
week, whatever they decide to do. You can get like an actual like changes of the cells, so it could actually be I've forgotten what they actually call it. It's an actual carcinoma. It's an actual a growth that's on your cervix. That is also then cervical cancer, but it's the very small amount that get those kind of cancers. Now, there was a load of different things, sort of like women having sex earlier. We've got the pill now, so it wasn't automatically that you don't do certain things or you have a condom. There was all this kind of stuff that's the reason why people are getting cervical cancer and why the numbers kind of crept up. Yes, you can get it younger, but it's something that needs to be noted, but is very unlikely that in your 20s, you know, where people said about having sort of screenings earlier.
Yeah.
But there are so many women and anyone that has a cervix, so whether you're non-binary, whether you're trans, that are missing having a cervical screening.
Because
it could be any number of reasons. You do get a lot that it's only with a women doctor, and your culture doesn't actually talk about having these kind of things done, and you don't show yourself to just anyone. And then there's a doctor or a nurse that you're going to see for anything like this. Or they've had one episode where they didn't like it, so that puts them off completely. There are some things that happen down there that makes it very, very uncomfortable to have a cervical screening. Like your muscles contract, you don't like anything, and you have problems like that sexually as well. But it's something that you kind of have to get over, because if you get pregnant, you're going to be in that same position, aren't you? You're going to be having your tests and checks and everything else.
Yeah, but people don't know that until they're actually pregnant.
Yeah.
They don't realise how many checks.
Yeah. Or unfortunately, and I say it's like me, that ended up having to have fertility treatments, having to have fertility checks. To the point where someone was just asking for an external scan of me, and I was just automatically assuming it was going to be an internal scan. So I started to take my trousers off, and they were like, "Oh no, it's all right, love. We can just look from the inside with your scanner." Because I've been so used to that. I mean, to put it, I'll give you a few examples. The reason why I talk about cancer is because I used to do a lot of work with cancer charities, the cancer research, and cervical screening is something for me is important, because my sister had cervical cancer, but hers was an actual growth, so it wasn't anything to do with HPV. But I've also got my cousin's daughter that was quite young that had the HPV version, and both of them just had a hysterectomy. They couldn't have anything else. So the things that I will say, if people are worried about having anything like that done, there's a few of them. I've got one that she was having a treatment done. This was to do with fertility, but you're in the same position, your stirrups up, whatever. She decided to have a quick wash before she went, as you do. You don't want to keep yourself clean, don't you, and everything else. But she used her kids' shower gel, and her kids' shower gel was the glitter version. So if you want to think of my friend going through fertility treatment, good job she likes her doctor. He says, "Oh, you made an effort." She was like, "Oh, I've run a wash," but what do you mean? And the other one, I mean, they do try and make all of these kind of things completely different to make it more comfortable for you. They change the duct, you know, where you opened up so they can look at the cervix. And they changed it to plastic so it's warm.
Oh yes, yeah. Right. What now?
The first time my doctor used one was on me, and we broke it.
Oh my God! How?
I don't know.
How are you breaking that?
I don't know what happened, but I will just say to anyone that if you're thinking you're going to get worked up, you need to relax. You need to be more relaxed because of where they are and everything else. I don't know how I broke it. It just broke in his hand, so he went back to the.
Hang on a minute, because you're saying I don't know how I broke it. You didn't even touch it.
Well,
you personally didn't touch it.
Yeah,
it's whatever he did.
That's your imagination stopped working.
No.
I could have squeezed.
Oh.
I don't know what happened, but
my God. That's why I'm not saying anything. I'll sit here thinking I cannot respond to this. I'll just get into trouble.
This is what I want to do. I want to make cervical screening something that we do talk about openly. That is something that, yes, we have to go through. But the screening has been spent loads of money on screening, so we need it for a particular reason. And it's because these people are dying. To try and get around people not going, and there could be, as I said, all sorts of different reasons why, they're now launching today a home
Hold
test.
on, before you go into that, I think one of the things that that when it comes to medical stuff, the doctors and nurses and everybody else have been telling us for years and years and years, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't this, it doesn't that, it doesn't this. And actually they need to just tell the truth. The cervical smear test is uncomfortable.
Yes.
And it might even sting a little bit. It's not going to be, it's when they go in there.
They've changed it now, Cecile.
Well, I'm due to have one, so, because this has just reminded me I need to book my appointment.
Yeah, same.
But I think it's with everything, you know, because obviously for some people, when you have an injection, it doesn't hurt. For other people, it stings like hell. Then say that.
Yeah.
Literally just say that. The cervical smear is uncomfortable. You might feel embarrassed, but it takes 2 minutes. Yeah. 3 minutes at most.
It can be even to the point, if you've been fine once and then you go back and it's like for your next screening, because you do need the next screening, because as I said, it's just testing changes in your cervix. So don't even just go once and say, yeah, I've had the test, I'm fine, I'm not going to bother with the next one, kind of thing. So you do need to go regularly, but it could be the time of your months. Your cervix changes the same as when you're getting ready to ovulate and everything else. So it can be more sensitive than other times.
Yeah.
It could be that you're just not sitting right. Going back to my fertility thing, there was always one nurse that was more just get on and do it kind of thing.
Yeah.
And she always would be, oh God, I've got her. And she's going to be prodding. It won't be I'll just be gentle, and it would be a prod. So you could have someone that's a little bit more like that. But they do change it round. It is like a sweep, because it did used to look like a proper spatula type thing. Now it's all different shape and swirling round and stuff. So, but if you have got concerns about going, if you want someone in the room with you, ask your doctor, talk to your doctor.
Yeah.
Say that's what you actually want. You want someone else there with you. Explain that you're a little bit nervous, you're a little bit uncomfortable. They will go through it a little bit slower, and you will relax, and that will then give you a better time during. Because then you're not tensing up, so you're then not causing the pain and things like that.
So what new thing is coming in then that's going to take away some of that?
Yeah. So the new thing is a home test. So it's if you've had I was just trying to see if I've got the I think it was on the BBC News website. I won't bother trying to get it up. It actually shows you what it's like, and it's one of those swabs. So it's the long swab. So if you possibly have thinking that you'd had an infection before, the doctor might have given you one of these kind of swabs.
Oh yeah.
And all it's then doing is going straight up inside. You obviously then feel resistance because you've gone so far up, giving it a swirl round, putting it into the tube, and it then gets tested specifically for the HPV virus. That should hopefully help some of these cases where you're not being picked up early. So you're being picked up when you're perhaps then having abnormal bleeding or anything else, and that's the reason why you've gone to the doctor, and they can't do anything else other than a hysterectomy because it's then gone too far. So it's hoping to pick up some of these cases. Now it is only ever going to be, and especially now, that by invitation only. Don't sit back and expect that you will get a letter come through and say, do you want the kit or do you want to go for your cervical screening? You will still have the cervical screening, but if you then approach your doctor and say, can I have this instead? That's how it should work. At the minute, it's only being like soft launched, so it's going in certain areas and they're working out how the whole system works. The NHS website itself is showing you through step by step how it would work, but it won't be like, you know, when you get when you get to a certain like age and you get the bowel screening kit come through.
Yeah.
Not going to be like that. It's not like the breast cancer screening where you get the letter and you have to book an appointment. It will still be, your letter will come through to go for your cervical screening, and at that point you could then ask, can I have this?
Oh, I see. Okay. So it's almost like a caveat, like say, if you want this letter in a different format, please let us know. So if you want this test in a different format, please let us know. That's effectively what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how it then works. So it should hopefully pick up some of the cases that are going to get lost.
So do
it won't pick up everything. So if you have got like problems with the other kind of cancer diagnosis where it is an actual thing, it won't pick up that. All it's actually doing is just picking up that HPV virus, and then it will then go on from there. So it won't necessarily, if you have that, it won't necessarily say that you've got cervical cancer. It's just knowing that you've got HPV, and then the steps what they then do as the treatment after that to try and stop like a cancer forming.
So do we know what areas they're doing this, or is it worth asking your doctor anyway?
They haven't really said. Everywhere I've looked for the NHS posts, it's like, if you're eligible, the NHS will contact you.
Right, okay.
So at the minute, all I can imagine is that it's going to be, all the doctor surgeries are going to be, oh, I've seen this, can I do it?
Yeah.
Because to book it, when it says on the NHS website, and that's one of the links that I've put in on the comments, you get the invitation that comes through by text, letter, NHS app when you get your cervical screening, and then you'll get your invitation where you can go for your screening and how to book. And it's then that point that you will, if you're in one of those areas, that it will then say, oh, you can actually do this.
So okay, so obviously there's it's not until you're talking about it that you actually think about it. This isn't something that enters my mind until I get the letter, and then I think, oh, okay, fair enough. But there must be a whole section of women who just don't go.
Yes.
They just don't go at all. Because of many different reasons. But at the minute, I'm just thinking about, women who have sadly been subject to FGM.
Mm-hmm.
They most probably don't go.
Yeah.
Because of the whole situation that they are then left with.
Yeah.
So that's a whole section of women that don't go.
You've got so many different, like that cultural side of things. You've got so many things like that where it's just not talked about.
No,
it's not discussed. It's why, and quite often I've seen it where women have fought to actually go into the doctors on their own.
Yeah.
To talk about some of these women things, because the mother-in-law's gone, the sister-in-law's gone with them, and they want to know everything, kind of thing, of what's going on, and the woman just wants to go in on her own.
Yeah.
You get a lot of that I've seen personally myself.
Wow.
And I don't know whether it's everything. It's just something I picked up once, and then I've seen it again, and I'm like, wow, right, okay, we're going down that road.
Yeah.
What on earth is kind of like going on with it?
So the likelihood that is then going to be cultural, I would think, rather than anything else. Although you may have somebody who's being domestically abused, coercion, etc., who may also have that other person going with them just to make sure that they don't say anything that they shouldn't say. But there are no, but for women who don't go because they're scared, because they think it's going to hurt, and things like that, this opportunity is going to make that easier for them.
But for picking up that virus, if there's a possibility that will turn into cervical cancer, it is going to save lives.
Yeah,
it is going to save lives, and I prefer having this as an option than just people then just not bothering.
No.
They took me off the list for a while for cervical cancer, only purely for the fact that they were looking at what I'm looking there all the time. That sounds so wrong, but they were. They kind of knew if anything was happening, so they said it's not bothered to do that. But then, because of my sister's diagnosis, I didn't really think about it too much. I know they do for breast cancer screening. If you've got a family history, okay, we'll book you in earlier, like shorter periods. But my nurse then turned around and said, no, we can book you in earlier for smear tests if you want to do that. I said, well, yeah, might as well, because you just don't know what could happen. And if you've got something like this, that a cancer that can actually be avoided, a death can be avoided. When you look at something like pancreatic cancer, like my dad had, with still only 7% of people surviving that cancer diagnosis. Breast cancer, cervical cancer, everything is it's awkward, but it's something we have to go through. And that's the same as prostate cancer. It's exactly the same of just you connect what embarrassment, I don't know, that you don't want to go for these particular tests because it's uncomfortable.
I think it's
uncomfortable for a few minutes rather than going through months of pain and more.
I think it's one of those things, isn't it? Like, so if anybody's listening, let us know what your thoughts are. But like we say, any men out there, if you're listening, you're watching, talk to your wife, your partner, talk to your sister if you want to, if you can, if you've got that kind of relationship, talk to your daughter, the same as we say about prostate cancer, talk to your men there, talk to your men folk, talk to the women folk. Just ask them, have you had smear tests? Have you had one? When was the last time? That kind of thing. Have that conversation, because it is, like I've said, it's uncomfortable. It may hurt just for a little bit. It doesn't take long, but that does not take away someone's thoughts about it. That doesn't make it any easier for that person who's thinking, I don't really want to do this. But the cases are getting younger and younger. This is not an old women's thing.
No.
This is a young person's thing as well.
Wow.
So yeah. Have a look. So you're going to put to get all this together and put it on our page.
Yes, yep. So it's got the if you're any women out there that were wanting more information about any of our cancers, any of the gynecological cancers, the best place is the Eve Appeal. It's gynecological cancers only charity.
Okay.
And the way that they do their descriptions, and these are the people that are behind the NHS and everything coming out with this kind of different test, is because they come from somewhere that it's education and awareness from people that have gone through it.
Yeah.
Rather than if the Cancer Research UK is great and they go through research, but it's more clinical, if you like.
Yeah.
This charity is more to do with the person, and it gets driven by that more, and it feels more like that. And their descriptions and pictures and videos and everything on there is so good, and they've got an easy read information on all the cancers as well.
Oh,
So
nice.
to have easy read, that it is something that if you have got some, like we're over here and your English is not your first language, it's so easy to actually then to look at stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then it then goes through sort of if this is something, then this is where you go on to, and it gives you so much information on there.
Good.
It's a good one.
Good. It's not a very nice topic for some people, but actually it's a topic that needs to be discussed. And if they've now found a different way of doing it, that's even better.
Yeah, I think so. I think that can only be good, to be honest.
Yeah. But you think some like sort of like my mum's kind of generation, that you would never say the word cancer. It'd be one of those taboo words. You know, you kind of like it'd be, oh, do you know she's got, like, you know?
Yeah.
Now you would think, you'd hope that being open and stuff and talking about different things, and like what your toilet's like, what your toilet's like, what's your periods like, and everything else, so freely, that you would get different things come out.
Okay. So
toilets, we're now going to retire.
I'm just swiftly moving past what your toilet is like, and just trying to ignore that one. But so we are going to have.
There was no way I could go from the Eve Appeal to.
Is it? But you should have just said. Is it not about what your stool's like, or?
Oh, okay, your stools, yes, yeah.
That's an easy one to say. I think it's. I don't know. Anyway, we're not talking about what your toilet's like today. No. We are going to have a conversation.
That skipped my brain altogether.
We're going to have a conversation about Meghan and Harry. And their two lovely children. Why are they coming back?
Because they're mad.
They're coming back. Should they be coming back? What's your thought?
You know what? It's very interesting that we're asking this question, because if you think about it, right? If you took, I don't know, some random couple that you know, that had come to you and said, oh, Cecile, we're moving back to St. Vincent, and we're probably not going to live in Luton or Dunstable anymore, we would say, oh, congratulations, well done, well deserved. Go ahead and enjoy your time there. But these ones are coming home and everybody's up in arms.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you know, I suppose it's because we all think we know. And I just realised we can think we know, but we don't know. And,
what do we think we know?
Well, for me, I think we know that they do not want them here, especially they do not want Meghan. I think they want Harry to be literally what he called himself, the spare. And I also believe that they do not like that without, well, I can't say without trying, probably they did try, but they did make something of themselves, and they made it look very easy, and they were still easily able to be charitable. They do not like those things. Now, I think it's normal for people to be in those positions and to not be liked, but these are not normal people, whether we like it or not. They're royals, and that I don't know. I just feel they're coming back into a pressure pot when they don't have to. But I could be wrong.
So why do we think they're coming back? Are they back
I
already?
think the king is ill. I think the king is ill.
Right. Okay. My first thought was that they were going to school their children in the UK. And then my second thought was, maybe King Charles is ill. Maybe.
But the two things could be true at the same time.
They can. Yes, they can. But because we had a very quick conversation before we came on air. Does that sound like loose women? Before we came on air, about the speed of this, how this has happened really quickly, and I said maybe it hasn't. Maybe it's been in the making for a while, and obviously we don't know that.
Yeah, the rumours have been going. They have been circling, to be honest. But as a,
I mean, he did come over here, and it wasn't just for the court case. He did come over here on his own not so long ago.
Yeah.
So I think he was kind of testing the waters then.
Did they come because of the Invictus Games?
Yeah. I thought he did.
It wasn't. Yeah, there wasn't age for him to be as long as he was. It was a bit weird. Like he did come over for a while,
yeah.
But really sort of said exactly. It was kind of Invictus Games, kind of the court case, but then a little bit longer as well, and being on his own. But it's they kind of the way that it was first reported was it was trying to it's Meghan because she's got a new role, but
yeah.
If it's just for that particular role, you wouldn't need to move over here, but they could just have like what most people actors do. It's like almost like a holiday home, if you like.
Yeah.
But they're now kind of making it that it's permanent.
An Airbnb in a castle.
Yeah. Making it permanent. And because then it turned to being more permanent, everyone was the first thing that people were moaning about was the security, because he made an issue about security and being over here on a visit. So now that's obviously pushed back on him. So that's when all that kind of stuff came out. But it just seems very quick. And then the palace then said, well, the king only found out on that Sunday and it was reported on the Monday night or whatever it was.
Yeah, right.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I don't believe any of that, to be honest. I don't get it twisted. Not what you're saying. What I mean is I do not believe that the palace did not know, because I think they know everything. I mean,
they can't have found out on the Sunday and then it's all in the news on the Monday.
Yeah. I think officially he would have been told that it's going to be reported. So he would have been told on the Sunday that it's going to be reported on the Monday night or whenever it was. I think that's how they're getting around it. Like the king didn't know until Sunday was not true. He wasn't officially told that was going to happen. That report was going to come out. I think that's how they're getting.
But it's the same as what Nikkei has said right at the beginning of this. You know, why shouldn't he come home? Yeah. Why shouldn't he come home? This is where he was born. This is where he lived. Why shouldn't he come home?
Because
bring his family with him.
Yeah, my first thought was that he gave up everything because him and Meghan wanted to make a thing of it over there. And with anyone, if you move to a different country, quite often you've kind of will give it till then, see how we get on, and we've got that back out. Kind of, we'll reassess. You know that it's kind of you don't tie yourself in that's exactly going to work. So some of the things that they had have kind of backfired. Some of the things didn't quite.
What has backfired? Well, what has backfired?
So where you've got all like their charity work that they then did, that's they was then saying like he shouldn't have done that, she shouldn't have done that, and things have kind of happened to the charity then. But you've kind of got like this art, like the art. So that's the Artwell stuff, wasn't it? So that kind of didn't quite work out right. They did the Netflix series that perhaps wasn't. It was watched, but it wasn't didn't take off as much as they thought. But yes, yeah, so
Really?
and
But
then
it's
decided to come home.
it's interesting though, isn't it? That who is reporting all of
Exactly, because I don't
We've
buy into
had
any
all
of
of
that
this
at all.
all the
At
time.
all.
It's always, you know, we're being told this information when actually that may not necessarily be the truth. But
I actually
you
don't
know,
think that at all, because when you listen to the people who really follow and break it all down, the construct of those shows and the business agreement wasn't straightforward. It wasn't just like coming to say, "Oh, Siblings Together, come and do this show. Let's see how it goes, and we'll see whether we're gonna meet you for another door." There were other deals and things that they did behindhand, and I can't remember which way around it is, but one of them just happened to be a happy benefit of the other. And I think it was all agreed up front, but I think they want us to believe that it was a failure. Bearing in mind, at the same time, the Obama's podcast was not moved forward at that time, and there was the other one. I can't remember now. The other popular one, and you know, wrongly or rightly, they their shows did eclipse the ones that had been number one for a long time, because obviously all the haters will watch it so they could complain about it.
Right. The other thing is that, you know, when you have two people who come from different countries, you're always most probably going to have time in one country, time in another country.
Exactly.
You know, so I think so. For me, it may be to do with his dad being poorly, because you know there is that prospect there. You know, King Charles he's not young. He has already been poorly, so that could be a thing. And if he's coming home because of that, then fair play to him, because why shouldn't he?
Yeah, the other thing I thought of, and I can relate to this because I come from quite a difficult blended or non-blended family. If the longer they lived in America, the more those people could have been isolated from their cousins. And regardless of the relationship between the so-called big grown-up people, those relationships can still flourish.
Yeah, exactly.
And obviously, if they're living there on the edge, knowing about them is one thing, knowing them is something else.
Yeah. Yeah. And why shouldn't they do that?
Exactly.
If you look at it, but if you've got the king's own grandchildren, have only really met them like a handful of times, you would think. If like all the times he's been back, they have been backwards and forwards, and when we know about it, it is a sad thing.
It is quite sad.
Kind of, and it does give you that jolt that, hang on a minute, you've been over there and you've got the base that you've got. That base is still not going to be the same, even though you're not getting on with family. That's still not going to be the same, being over there to being over here. So it's just one of those things that they have then decided to come back, but to hide it, to have it, so many people pulling things in different directions and doing their own reports on different things. Well, that must be the reason, and that must be the reason. It's just.
But we've been here. We were here last week. We were literally here last week.
I know.
Talking about things that are reported, things that are being said about people. And we are the next week talking about these two. And this has been said, that's been said, that's been said. I am just, we said this before we came on air. I am now just waiting for the racism to come and just show itself, because that is going to just be there. And I don't care what anybody else has to say. Whatever you think, whatever, the racism is going to come out, and it's going to be completely directed at her and most probably those children. And it's going to be there.
because
it is going to be
the
there.
thing that they will pick holes on, which they were already doing just recently, really. You know, when she does sort of like her, it's similar to the show, but she then does that online. That she stumbles over different things, like what she calls herself and things like that. She's never been brought up understanding the royal family, so she really should have gone through a hell of a lot more training about what the royal family's like and what your names.
Why should she?
Because then
I'm sorry, I don't agree. I think that's all very stuffy and unnecessary, and I think that's other people who are making.
I'm not saying that she should act royally. I think she should understand how the royal family works. So it's not just like this prince and princess thing. It's understanding how it works, because she has actually then stuck a foot in it and then hasn't then realised.
What has she?
I get that. I get that, and about learning about it.
A room in front of a royal person, how you react, how different things.
I suppose that's where
if you're going into that room and those people don't want you, and those people don't want to call you by your title, then how are you going to learn? How are you going to learn all of these things if they actually don't even want you there? You know, that's not easy.
Yeah, that's why I said I think this is where I would go a separate way with this, because personally I don't agree with all of that malarkey, and I think for Meghan, wrongly or rightly, she is caught between a rock and a hard place. But even just the comparison, we all know for a fact that when Harry and William were in school, they were referred to as the Waleses. Mm-hmm. When I don't know what this lot are, the Charles, Louis, and what's Charlotte? Is it Charlotte?
Yeah.
I don't know what they're referred to, but when Meghan did it, it was a problem. But they've done it; it's okay. If by then she gets the title princess wrong or the duchess wrong, it is always an issue. They're all non-starters. In my opinion, they're all non-starters because other people make blunders.
There's been, I mean, before they left, they did, or even when they left, I saw a couple of articles around, possibly decent articles around the comparison between her and Kate. And when she did this, that was wrong. When Kate did this, that was right. When she wore that was wrong. But when Kate wore something
exactly that's all what it is. Right.
So I think I think very much like Nikkei saying, but for different reasons, because I think she should have learned the do's and the don'ts and the curtsies and the knots. But I also think, how has she been able to do that? Because he is upset with his family and is not going to sit down and say, well, when you talk to this one, you need to do this. And when you talk to that one, you need to do that. He's not going to do that because he's just upset. He's upset and for all the right reasons. So she hasn't got that. And Kate has not taken her under her wing as a sister-in-law and flourished with her. So I am pleased they're back, or they're coming back, because I like them. And I like the royals. I'm not a royalist. I'm not a royalist. But all that pomp and circumstance, I love it. I love it.
One of the reasons
I just worry for her.
One of the reasons why you will have, and always will have, a difference between Catherine and Meghan is that the same differences that you had between William and Harry, because you're talking about who's going to be a king and queen.
Yes.
So they have to have different standards.
Yeah, but she's not queen yet. She could still have taken Meghan.
I'm sorry, but her abilities to be queen, for what I've seen so far, are very, very poor. She can't. You know what? Don't let me even turn it into I do not.
Anyway, yeah. But
I was just going to say, going back on that naming convention, when you think about it, Fergie, Duchess of whatever she was before, I don't know if she's been stripped of the title because Andrew's been stripped of it. She was still there living the life of luxury there. She was making money off being a former royal. She had a podcast. She did all of those things and it was fine. But yet Meghan, that was
it
still...
though?
It was, as far as I could see. Well, it's not that they came out, just because they didn't actively come out and say that is okay, but they did not actively come out and say it wasn't okay.
Yeah.
At least I didn't see anything where they actively said it wasn't okay.
Well,
and it just drives me absolutely crazy. It's the same method of operation we were talking about last week. Yes, it's good. They need to report that Harry and Meghan are going to come back. Because they're going to settle in the UK. They might send their children there. They might reconcile with the king. That's all they need to write. They don't need to write whether...
Yeah.
That's it. It needs to be done. But their MO is just to pick and to pick and to pick and to pick on things that are not relevant. And I suppose I probably feel that way because I am very anti-royal, and I don't think that type of hierarchy should exist just for existing, just because you were born.
But also, though, as we've already said, you are anti-royal. I am not anti-royal, but we're still saying the same thing. They don't need to be picking and pointing stuff out, and why they've come back. Why they've come back is none of our business. The fact is they have. And I would prefer my tax money to go on his security than give it to some other bloody... Oh, God!
You did it! You did it! The same word, though. The same word.
Same words. It's not as worse as that.
It's when I get really heated. It's when...
I need to put that word on the white list.
It's just when I get really animated. But yes, I would rather give my tax money to them than give it to whoever else is gonna run this country and take us right down a dark hole. So yeah, we'll see what happens, but I think the races are going to come out in force, so let's watch this space. We've got a couple of things to share before we disappear for the day. Have you got a banner?
Yep.
Oh, there we go.
I can never read the banner. It's always too small.
It's your new profile.
I know. I need to get a laptop.
We have got Simply D's events. We've got a special screening of Milestone, Streets Paved with Gold, on Sunday the 20th of September at 3 p.m. at the Library Theatre. Go on Ticket Source and get your tickets. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. We've got a Q&A. There's a hint of a singer, and that's not D.
That's not D.
A hint of a singer as well. It's going to be really, and the film itself is brilliant. So
yeah, the film is the screenplay of the theatre production that he then put on.
Yeah.
So yes, it is absolutely amazing, and the if you look at the event itself, there's a video on there that actually shows you some of the stuff that he goes into. So it is an amazing story.
Oh,
have you not got your ticket yet?
No, because when the notification of it first came out, I had something else penciled in on that date.
Is that now been penciled out?
Maybe not.
Big eraser.
maybe not. So, Milestone, Streets Paved with Gold. It's Sunday the 20th of September, 3 p.m. What are you doing on a Sunday? You know, other than just putting your feet up. Not this Sunday. I mean, in general, what do you do on a Sunday? You can fit in a visit to the Library Theatre, can't you? It's a lovely library theatre. You can get your drinks, your snacks, all that business. And it's going to be a really, really good event. Yeah, we've also got
one of two things that we're doing for Black History.
One of two things that we're doing for Black History. What's the second thing?
Well, the second thing will be bringing the back bookcase back.
Oh, you should have with Tiana to show that one.
We can show that next week.
Yes. So Black bookcase, we've done a couple of them now. I think did you say there was going to be 70 stalls?
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. So anything that's from a African or Caribbean background. So the black businesses, all to do with not just books and publishers, booksellers, so like your actual authors or your illustrators, but anything to do with the arts and crafts too, that are going to be there. And it is, as with both of those, open for everyone. We are celebrating a particular thing. It's not that you have to come just because you're black or part of the black culture or like you're interested in it. It's like open for everyone.
Yes, it is. It is. And that is on the 17th of October at Luton Sixth Form College. Lovely venue. Absolutely beautiful venue.
And the food. Obviously the food too.
And the food. And the food. Obviously the food. And that is always a brilliant event. Absolutely fantastic event. So again, if you're interested in being a vendor, let us know. We can get you a form, get that filled in. But on the day, it's the 17th of October. And even if you're popping into town, you can then just pop up the road to come and have a look. It's not far from town. So we've got both of those events coming up.
That one's a free event as well.
Free.
She decided to do free. So not only you've got the selling side of things, you've got stuff to see. They've also then got some of the authors that are being interviewed. So she's decided to do everything free.
It's free. So what's stopping you from coming to have a look? It's free.
Yes, come and have a look.
Have a look.
It was really good last time. It was so good.
So next week we will show a video of our promoter, our young promoter, who is part of the Simply D's crew, and I think at some point is going to be running it.
Yeah. We're all going to be working for her.
She is. We're going to play her video because that just How can anybody say no to her? They can't. So we will show that next week. So we will be back same time. And I'm just going to put this out there. If anybody knows Meghan and Harry and can have any kind of conversation with them and get them on our show, just let us know. Right?
Is it the Cotswolds that they've decided on? If
is that where they're going to stay?
If the reports are correct, yes, it's the Cotswolds.
That's up north, isn't it?
No, it's across.
Is it up and across or just across? I don't know.
So I think it's slightly up, but it's across.
Okay. Anybody who knows them and can get them on our show, we'll do a videotape any day they want. Just get them on. We want them on. We want to ask them, why are you here?
Yeah.
I don't want to ask them that, but other people would want to ask them that. But anyway, we will be back next week. We will see you then. Bye.